Hey guys, this is Jeremiah. I'll be going through with you on the spectacles/shades holder kit tutorial. So firstly, I'll run through the essential items that are pre-packed for you in the kit. Okay, we have the rough leather, the glue applicator, glue, burnishing cream, 2 different grades of sandpaper, nail filer, it works as a sandpaper as well, the hardware for screwing down things, I'll show you later, cloth, cotton bud, thread, and needles. So do bring along your own lighter and as well as scissors. The lighter, get the the regular lighter instead of the windproof lighter. For the first step, it will be burnishing, so get your burnishing cream ready, cotton bud as well as the cloth. So for this item, this spectacle holder, where are we going to burnish first? Usually when we start off, we will burnish the non-stitch portion. So these are all the stitching portions, so we will leave it to the last. Okay, the non-stitch portion will be from here all the way to this area here, the first hole here. So likewise here is the non-stitch portion, okay, as well as this piece all around. Okay, so pick up your burnishing cream. You can use the cotton bud to dab a little and spread, but for me, I like to use my pinky to actually do it. So I'm doing the smaller piece first. So when I dab it in the cream, do not dab so much, just a little will do, and gently spread it. Okay, just dab it a bit. Okay. We will always do portion by portion. Okay. So I'll just do this side first and then I'll move over to the other side. Now I would like to dab a little on the inner part. Why? Because every time when this thing touches, or rather you touch the inner part or stuff like that, it will tend to cause friction. So when friction is created, the fiber will come loose. Okay, so we want to actually, we're using this cream to tighten the fiber. Okay, once you apply everything, next thing, you will wrap your index finger with this cloth. Okay, and your index finger will go into like a 45 degrees angle on the side here. Okay, so when we are doing on the fiber surface, okay, you will feel for the fiber direction using your fingers. So let's say for example, downwards is rough for me, upwards is smooth. So I will run through the smooth direction. So your cloth, index finger, and gently press it down like this. Just one direction upwards will do. Don't go up and down. Okay, just press it down. And flip it over. On the smooth surface of the leather, you can go up and down. Okay. And after which, go onto the top and polish it. So we repeat the step here, as well as the non-stitch areas. Okay, non-stitch areas will be, sorry, I'll just flip it over, easier to see. So here and here. Okay. So once you have done burnishing the sides, the non-stitch portion, it will look like this. Okay, there's one more part that I actually forgot. It's the hole over here. Okay, so pick up your needle, dab a little of this cream, and put it around the sides here, all around the hole, the sides of the hole. This is to tighten the fiber so that when the rivet go in, it wouldn't damage it. And if you have excess that comes off from the side here, do pick up your tissue and then just clean it away. Okay, once you have done, use the cloth and do the same method. The next step will be installing on the hardware and gluing. So get your hardware ready, the glue applicator and the rough leather. So for these two pieces, how we're going to attach the hardware on. Okay, you look at this hole and these two holes. Okay, this piece, this smaller piece will go here. Okay, and you unscrew the hardware. Put the minus sign face down here. Go through to the front. Okay, and this flap, close it. Okay, now you will screw the rivet here, the stud here, sorry. Okay, just hand tighten will do. Okay, so this will be in the front. Now, for the next step is gluing. So where are we going to glue? We are going to glue all the stitching portions. So the stitching portions will be here, 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 and here. Okay, so take your glue, pulls a little on the mat here, the leather pad. Just a bit will do. So you can just dab a little on this glue, you don't need so much, just a bit will do. And this is contact glue, so you need to actually apply on both sides that you're sticking on, okay? And it works well when it's dry, so don't worry when it's dried up, okay? And when it's dried up, right, it will look transparent. When it's transparent, you stick them together, it will create a better bond. Okay, just spread it around the sides. Now, if you have issues gluing them, for example, you put some glue onto the hole, what you can do is pick up your needle, clear the hole using the needle, okay? And if you have excess, you know, sometimes there is dried glue on the glue applicator, just pick up your tissue and then wipe it away and you're good to go again. So it makes spreading easier. Once you have done gluing of the sides, let it sit a bit, and once it's dry up, it will look like this. Okay, clear. Okay, when it's dried up, we are going to stick them together. So we're going to start sticking on one side first. Okay, make sure the holes are aligned. What you can do is pick up the needle again, okay, and pierce through the first hole, and you align them easily. Okay, make sure all sides, I mean both leathers are aligned. If not, you have trouble doing your burnishing. Okay, your final burnishing. Okay, once it's aligned, give it a nice press all around so that there's no air bubbles in there. Okay, done. Put it out. We're going to put on the other side. So same thing on the other side. You can use your needle to pierce it through the first hole and align them. Okay. So again, make sure both pieces of leather are aligned. Now once they are aligned, squeeze out the air bubbles. Okay, make sure there's no air bubbles in there, and if you have excess glue, use your index finger to rub along the sides to remove the excess glue. After this, we'll move off to stitching. So get your thread ready and needles as well as your scissors. So just put the glue aside. Now, how much thread is needed for this side and this side? Okay, for one side, you will need about 4 times of the thread length. So when I say 4 times, right? So this is 1 time. You don't have to do exactly. Just give it a bit of excess. So you just multiply them. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So you just prepare the same length on the other side as well, and I'll show you a close-up on how you attach the string to the needles. So here's a close-up on how you're gonna attach the string to the needle. Now for a start, you have to pinch the end of the thread here, okay, to make it flatter, so it's easier to go through the hole here. Now you go through the hole, pull about 6 or 7 cm excess here, okay, and point the pointy part of the needle upwards. Bring the shortest part of the thread all the way up to the pointy part of the needle and pierce it through the thread. Okay, when you pierce through the thread, leave about like 2 cm of excess here. Can you see this excess here? About 2 cm, and then using your index finger as a guide or cushion to pierce through the thread. Okay, can you see the thread is being pierced through? Okay, so now you will see like a D shape, okay, D or C shape here. Now I'm going to make this D or C shape smaller by adjusting the top downwards, okay, and pulling the end here. Now once you see something like this, you move off to the next step, which is you're going to pull the shorter part of the thread downwards. So you have to follow all the way through, pull downwards all the way, okay? And this is how we lock the thread. So you will do the exact thing for the other end of the thread here. So in one thread, right, you have 2 needles, each needle at each end. So we will now begin stitching. So pick up your spectacle holder as well as the thread and needle. Okay. Usually I will let people know that there's a default position when you hold this. Okay. When you're stitching at this position here, we will always stitch from the left to the right. The ending will be at the bottom. So likewise, the ending will be at the bottom here. Okay. Now when you're stitching left to the right, there's a default position. So when you hold this spectacle holder, it will be like this. Okay, facing you. So this is the front part facing you when you're stitching on this area here. Now when you're stitching on the other side here, you have to flip it over. Okay, so it remains from the left to the right. So the right here is the bottom, so left to the right. Okay, now we'll start off stitching this side first. So take up your needle and thread, poke it through the first hole, at the back. Okay, make sure both threads are aligned or equal. Okay, and clamp the one at the back here. So when you're pulling the front, right, the thread wouldn't run through. So here, needle that is facing you, okay, goes into the next hole. Goes through to the next hole, you pull down. Give it a nice tuck down. So this one goes down, the other needle goes above. Above meaning over the thread here, on top of the thread. Yeah, let me get a clear shot. So here, needle is above the thread. Okay, needle should be above the thread. So now if you see something like this, right, that means the needle is under the thread. So this is wrong. So reverse your needle and make sure it goes above the thread. Okay, now it's above the thread. Can you see? The needle is above the thread. Same here, needle is above the thread. So you pull through, okay, make sure you give it a nice tuck on both sides. Same thing again, repeat the step. Needle that is facing you goes into the next hole, okay, goes through the next hole, you pull down. Okay, the next needle will go above the thread. So this needle will go into the third hole above the thread. Needle is above the thread. In the front, needle is above the thread as well. Pull through, give it a nice tuck on both sides. So repeat the step throughout until the end. I'll teach you how to end it. Once you are done stitching from the top all the way down to the bottom, the last hole here, prepare your lighter as well as your scissors. Okay, where do we end it? We will usually end the thread at the back of the spectacle holder. Okay, so to start off on ending the thread, I will always pick the one at the back. okay, the needle at the back, backtrack it to the second last hole, poke it through the second last hole, make sure the needle is not piercing through any of the thread, in the back and in the front as well, okay, make sure it's not piercing through, okay, adjust it so that it don't pierce through any of the thread, okay, now pull it through, and when it's through, use your index finger or thumb to align the thread at the back here so that the thread will look parallel. Okay, can you see? Now in the front, the needle is out from the second last hole. Okay, we will put this needle to the third hole, the third last hole. So backtrack again one more time. Okay, this time round, when you poke through the front, okay, when you poke through the front, do not pierce through any thread here, So at the back, you will pierce through the thread here. Okay, this the reason being why we pierce through the thread, so that when we use the lighter to light the ending up, right, the thread won't come loose that easily. So pull it through, make sure the thread is parallel as well, front. Okay, so this one here that we finish up on the third hole, the last hole here, the last 3 holes here. Okay, let it be, and now we'll work on the needle that is in the front here. So the needle in the front, backtrack it to the second last hole here. Okay, poke it through. So in the front, same thing, do not pierce through the thread. At the back, you can pierce through the thread here. Okay, can you see? So poke it through, same thing, make sure the thread is in equals, or rather, sorry, parallel with each other. Okay, at the back. So the back will look like this when you end. Okay, so the threads will both end here. So pick up your scissors, just trim a little will do, not too much. Something like this is good. And then you use your lighter. Use the blue color part of the flame and light it. Okay, and press it down. Okay, this is a wax thread, so when you use your lighter, you will melt the wax, and then you can press it down. Okay, so do the same thing on the other side. So you have to stitch this part down. Okay, how you're going to hold it is this way, top, left to the right, left to the right. Okay, then the ending, do as what I've taught you here, and we'll go on to the final step, which is burnishing. For the final step, it will be burnishing. So get your burnishing cream ready, the nail filer, 2 different grades of sandpaper, and the cloth. So at the start of the workshop, you did burnishing on all the non-stitch portion. So now for the final step, we are going to do the burnishing on the stitching portion. So here and here. So same thing as what I taught you earlier on. Just take your cream, dab it on the side of the place that you're going to burnish. Okay. Wrap your index finger with the cloth. Put it at the side here, at the edge here, up and down. Remember, like a 45 degrees angle, up and down. And go on to the top here. Make sure you rub it down, polishing it. Okay, now, so once you're done with the first step of, the first coat of burnishing, we'll see whether we will need to use the the roughest sandpaper, which is the nail filer, or the second roughest sandpaper, which is the darker grit from the lighter one. So the lighter one will be the final touch. So once you're done, making sure both pieces of leather are seamless, okay, and then we'll move off to the smooth sandpaper. So for now, mine is quite smooth, mine is quite even on both sides, so I'll just use this sandpaper, okay. So now we'll move on to the sandpaper. Just sand it a bit like this, okay, make sure, yeah, even, so the color, right, you can see, if you take a look here, this is quite light, in the middle is a bit dark, and then at the side here is a bit light. So that means the one in the middle, right, it's not really aligned with the two sides here. Okay, so you just have to keep sanding it until you see both sides of the ladder and the middle portion are similar in color, and then you can stop sanding it. So just up down will do. And when you are sanding it, please do not sand over to the thread area. If you tend to sand over to the thread area, you might have issues with the thread. You don't want to actually sand the thread, if not the thread will come loose. Okay, so here at the side here, you can actually do some to actually sand out the excess. Okay, so you can see here, both pieces of leather are at the same shade of color. So we'll move off to putting the burnishing cream again. Okay, so use the cloth. Now if you find that it's not smooth enough for you, or rather it's not aligned enough on both sides for you, you can use the rough sandpaper again and do it. So we will repeat the step until the final step will be the smooth sandpaper. So for me, I'm done with the rough sandpaper. I'll go off to the smooth sandpaper. So smooth sandpaper, just do the same thing, sanding it. Okay, once this is done, use the cream again, tap on the sides. Use the cloth. Okay, and on the top portion, burnish it. So once you are done with this, you will see it's a very nice shine. Okay, and it's quite smooth. So remember, if you don't find it smooth enough for you, you can always repeat the steps. So the rough one goes on first. So once you're done with the rough cream, put the cream, then the smooth sandpaper. That's the final touch up. Once you're done with the smooth sandpaper, cream again. Okay.